What's up, guys? Welcome back to Clutch Attitude MMA. Today, I'm giving you my UFC Freedom 250 official picks. And guys, UFC Freedom 250 is not just another card. I mean, this is the White House card, something that we've been waiting for a whole year. Man, ever since it was announced, this is probably the biggest card assembled and the event, a one-on-one event. I did my rant already. This is not political. This is about the fights. I'm not about the drama. Let's get to it. UFC Freedom 250. And guys, I'm going for broke on this one, man. I'm definitely going for broke on this one. I'm taking some underdogs, and I'll give you some of what I'm thinking, right? I'm going for Michael Chandler to pull a massive upset. I'm definitely going to take Steve Garcia against Diego Lopez, and also Ilya Topuria, bro. The movie ending pick of Justin Gaethje is about to happen at the White House, at the South Lawn. So let's get to it, guys. I'm going to give you my official picks of the White House card, the UFC Freedom 250, and a little bit of a new setup here. So I'm going to go ahead and give you what I have. All right. Let's start off. All right. So we're going to do this a little bit different. Let's start off with the opening fight in the card. We have a featherweight bout between a number 2 ranked Diego Lopez and number 9 ranked Steve Garcia. Steve Garcia is coming off, I think he's at a 7-fight winning streak. Diego Lopez coming off that loss against Volkanovski. Before that, he beat John Silva, and then before that, he had his first title fight against Volkanovski. Both of them, Volkanovski just, man, he just showed his IQ, levels of IQ. But Diego Lopez showed he had a chin, though Volkanovski was able to wobble him in some moments. Now, Steve Garcia's got some power in his hands, guys. He's got some power in his hands. He's the lengthier opponent. And if we look at some of these stats right here, just basic stats, I'm just going to give you what I see from the UFC website, all right? I'm not going to go too crazy on the stats, but hey, here. All right, so we got a 75-inch reach for Steve Garcia. Definitely an advantage against Diego Lopez. Now, who is going to fight in it? Who is going to put the pressure on? Who's going to be in the back foot? Who knows? That is the big question here. So if this collides, if both fighters collide, you have the more dynamic striker in Diego Lopez. In my opinion, he can pull he's got different tools. He's got the spinning elbows. And then you have the power of the mean machine in Steve Garcia. Dude, if both things collide, I think Steve Garcia can pull off a TKO in the first round, maybe it's early second round. So I'm going to go with Steve Garcia to take this fight. And why? Also, some of these stats right here. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Win by. The guy definitely wins more by KO. 79%. Yes, Diego Lopez is a more dynamic striker, more dynamic fighter. 41 wins via KO or TKO, 44 wins via submission. Another good stat that benefits Diego Lopez is the fight time. We got 11, almost 12-minute fight time average for him. And most of that time came in those 2 fights against Volkanovski, where he went he went 5 rounds with him both times. And then we have Steve Garcia. He can end it early, first round, second round, early second round. I'm going to go with the early second round, maybe sometime in the first round for Steve Garcia to get this TKO win. And my prediction is Steve Garcia is just going to wobble Diego Lopez. Yes, he's got a chin. Yes, he's somehow Mexican. But I think the real Mexican here is Steve Garcia. And Steve Garcia is going to show. He's going to have the power in his hands. He's going to be able to put Diego Lopez down and just not going to let Diego Lopez, try to get a submission on his back or whatever. I think Steve Garcia has definitely going to use his power against Diego Lopez and get him down TKO in the first round or early second round if he survives the first round. All right, let's move on to the second fight in this card. Excuse me. We have Bo Nickel, the chinny to the body guy, against Kyle Daukaus. And guys, Kyle Daukaus looks kind of like like Rainier the Ritter. I mean, his body style, you can tell he's got not much of a torso and then all legs. And Bo Nickel, of course, he did improve in his striking against Rodolfo Vieira in his last fight. But dude, I don't know. I'm too worried about this fight. And some nights I wake up, some days I wake up and I'm like, dude, I'm taking Kyle Dawkins to get this fight. But you know what? I'm a Bo Nickel fan. Through and through, whenever he got into the UFC, I was following his after his Dana White Contender Series win. I was following him. I don't care about his antics or his whatever he says on the mic, his political views. I don't care none of that. I want to truly see this guy compete at a championship level. And I know that he's a good wrestler. So if he improves his striking, and if he did improve his striking even more, visiting other gyms, going to maybe I heard he went to American Top. He was at American Top Team. He went to Kill Cliff. I believe so. I don't know much, but if he did improve his striking, the guy is gonna beat Kyle Dawkins. Because Kyle Dawkins can take some punches, He does have Kyle Dawkins has some dangerous submission attempts and stuff like that. But I don't think Bo Nickel's gonna let that happen. He's fighting for his country, and he's more proud American than anybody in this card, except for Michael Chandler, I believe. Because Justin Gaethje is let's not talk about that, right? But anyways, Kyle Dawkins, Bo Nickel. I'm going to take Bo Nickel to get this done. I'm betting for his improvement. I bet that he improved his striking. Bo, did you improve your striking, bro? Did you improve you know what I'm thinking, because you are Mr. Professor X or whatever. And he's also minus 350 favorite. I think the odds maker is going to get this right, okay? So let's move on. But as far as him getting a title fight, like Chael Sonnen is saying after this fight, they ain't no way, bro. They ain't no way Bo Nickel gets a title fight after this. Anyways, let's move on to the next fight. We're going with the lightweight division. The number 9 ranked against the number 13 ranked Michael Chandler. Mauricio Rufy against Michael Chandler. Mauricio Rufy is minus 750 favorite against Michael Chandler. And this is the upset of the night, guys. Michael Chandler is going to turn back the clock at 40 years old and get this win. He's going to use his wrestling. He's going to use more IQ, because the guy, he's definitely one of the good, one of these good ass MMA fighters of all time, in my opinion. I mean, the guy, 3-time Bellator champion, I think he was, and fought for the championship a few times in the UFC, or one time in the UFC. Dude, I'm betting for Michael Chandler to get the upset on this one. And yes, he can be, he can get punched in the face a bunch of times. He did by Justin Gaethje. He did by Paddy Pimblett. He got caught a few times, but he also caught Justin Gaethje a few times. And then you got Mauricio Rufy, who lost against Benoit Saint-Denis. Damn, this is a tough fight, I just don't think that Mauricio Rufy can use his range to get one of those spinning wheel kicks into Michael Chandler. I'm sure Michael Chandler is smarter than that. So Michael Chandler is going to close the distance, use some wrestling, maybe pop that, pop him with some straight rights in his jaw. Mauricio Rufy, get him down and just keep him down. Because Mauricio Rufy, yes, he's training with Volkanovski, so that means that he can, he's improving his IQ and all that stuff. But Michael Chandler hasn't stopped training either. So, I think he's going to turn back the clock and get this win. Okay, guys? I'm going to go with Michael Chandler to get this done via decision. I think he can win rounds 1 and 2. Maybe Mauricio Rufy tries to, gets the third round, but it's too late. Michael Chandler already had some moments in the first and second round. So I'm going to go with Michael Chandler to get this done 29-28. Maybe a split. Maybe a split at the White House. We get that. But Michael Chandler gets back on track and probably earns back his position in the top 10 before getting a fight against Conor McGregor. That's probably come on, man. He's going to call out Conor McGregor if he wins. So that's exciting right there. All right, let's move on to the heavyweight bout. Man, Josh Hokit fighting down after beating Curtis Blade, the number 5 ranked. So just stealing the number 5 ranked, the number 5 rank in the division from Curtis Blades. He's fighting back. I thought he was gonna get somebody in the top 5. Somebody else, maybe Sergey Pavlovich, somebody like that. I don't know, but he gets Derrick Lewis because he's exciting, right? I think Josh Hokit is much faster than Derrick Lewis. He's got better wrestling than Derrick Lewis. He does not have more power than Derrick Lewis, but I don't think he needs it. I think he's going to be able to land like 5 shots before Derrick Lewis lands a hook or something like that. So I'm going to take Josh Hokit to get this done via TKO in the first round. This is probably the easiest fight of the card. But Derrick Lewis can open up with one of those, flying knees or crazy Superman punch or something like that, and land Josh Hokit and send him to the stratosphere. That can happen, guys. That can actually happen on this fight. But I think Josh Hokit is going to be able to read that at distance and, he's going to fight it smart. He doesn't want to take that much damage now that he's going, and this fight doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? He needs to get Derrick Lewis out of there pretty quick or tire him out and just, do something in the second round. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Josh Hokit is going to be able to TKO Derrick Lewis in the first round. Okay. So let's move on to. All right, guys. So Sean O'Malley, right? And, guys, Sean O'Malley is going to get this done against Ariel Helwani. Ayman Zahabi. Sean O'Malley is going to be able to style on Ayman Zahabi all 3 rounds. In my opinion, he's just going to have the better combinations. He's going to pop that jab at distance. He's going to be able to use leg kicks, kicks to the body, steeps. He's going to be using all that and more, Now, O'Malley didn't look all that impressive in the Song Yadong fight, but this is the fight that the UFC needed to make to lift up Sean O'Malley, Sugar, to lift him up again and put him into title contention. This is a perfect matchup. We got Ayman Zahabi. He fights with a high defense and just he gets popped every time. We saw it. Chito Vera was able to knock him down a few times. Jose Aldo knocked him down a few times. He got right back up. He is a tough fighter. We got to give him that. But Sean O'Malley is just going to be raining combinations against the cage, uppercuts to the body. He's going to land the hooks. He's going to land the straights, the cross, everything. He's going to land on Ayman Zahabi, man. I see this going 30-27, maybe 30-26. Or maybe a knockout, I don't know if Ayman Zahabi can get chinny like that, even though he gets knocked down too much, but still. If it's not a TKO in the 3rd round, it's definitely a 30-27 or 30-26. I don't see any way, any shape or form that Ayman Zahabi can outstrike Sean O'Malley or get some takedowns on O'Malley. You know what I mean? For O'Malley to get taken down, it requires somebody like Merab. And yeah, man, I don't think Ayman Zahabi has that type of skill set. So I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley to get this done. And, maybe call out Peter Purian for a title fight. That's possible right there. So let's go with Sean O'Malley to get this done. TKO or 30-26 decision. All right, guys, let's move on to history in the making in this bout, right? In this card. We have Alex Pereira taking on Cyril Gane. from France, the number one contender in the heavyweight division, fighting against the former undisputed middleweight champion of the world and former light heavyweight undisputed champion of the world, Alex Pereira. Boa, you're going to be able to beat this French guy, man. You're going to be able to beat this guy. And he's going to use the range. He's going to be controlling the center of the octagon. Cyril Gane is probably going to use, he's going to try to go in, land a couple shots, maybe that jab at distance. But Alex Pereira is just, if he doesn't get you early, like he did with Magomed Ankalaev, which I think that fight right there was just like, hey, Poa, you're gonna have to rush the guy, land something, and just ground and pound him to death, man. Because the guy's been calling you this, calling you that. He doesn't have a beef with Cyril Gane, and you can't really have a beef with Cyril Gane. The guy's really nice, you know what I mean? But a cheater too. So we got to be careful, Alex. Alex, you got to be careful with those eye pokes. All right. Anyways, but Alex Pereira is going to land that head kick KO on Cyril Gane. I can just see it. You know what I mean? Cyril Gane is just going to try to circle around Alex Pereira, and all of a sudden Alex Pereira is going to land that right. He's going to switch stance, and in the middle of switching stance, he's going to land a right head kick and KO Cyril Gane. And I see this happening in the first or second round. I don't see this going the distance, guys. I really don't. So, and new heavyweight interim champion of the world, Alex Boatan Pereira. I'm going to go with Alex, man. He's, I know I made a video. What about if Alex loses, right? But I just, the more I see his training camp, the more I see that he's training, at that weight, I think he's going to come in there with all the confidence in the world to do this. And, as far as if you look at it, if you go kickboxer versus kickboxer, I think Boatan is the better kickboxer than Cyril Gane. You know what I mean? Cyril Gane is this. I don't know, man. He just doesn't make me think that he can be a winner. You know what I mean? He doesn't. I don't see him as a champion ever. So I'm gonna go with Alex Pereira at a -115, closing as a favorite. I'm gonna take Alex Pereira to get this done via TKO. I don't see no grappling exchanges, but just in case he does get knocked down, because Alex, he could get knocked down. He can. Just in case he can get knocked down, or maybe slips or gets wobbled and then finds himself shooting. I've never seen it, but still, he is practicing the grappling. So if something like that happens and there's a submission, that'll be crazy as hell. But I'm going to go with Alex Pereira to get this done by TKO, guys, and become the almost 3-division champion, champion in 3 divisions, almost, because it is an interim title. But he is going to call out Tom Aspinall and get a fight against him, man, and that'll be exciting. So let's move on to the main event of the evening. And guys, Ilia Topuria, 2-time champ, featherweight champ, former featherweight champ, and he's also the reigning, defending lightweight champion of the world against the paper champ in Justin Gaethje. Guys, I think Ilia Topuria is going to knock out Justin Gaethje in the first round. I agree with him. You know what I mean? I think as soon as he lands something, he's going to knock out Justin Gaethje. And this is exactly how I see it. I see right hook. Justin Gaethje eats the right hook. Ilia Topuria immediately lands a left hook, wobbles Justin Gaethje. He's moving to his left. As he's moving to his left, that Ilia Topuria moves, and I know Mighty Mouse calls it the void or or he's gonna face it, he's gonna face Justin Gaethje as he's moving to his left, and he's gonna land an uppercut, land it as well, and finally land that left overhand hook and put him down, and just ground and pound them to a TKO in the first round. That's exactly what's going to happen. He's just taking too much damage over his career. Ilia Topuria, he's 18-0 after this fight, and he's going to call out, of course, Islam Makhachev. And we're going to get that super fight, guys. We're going to get that super fight. But before that, Ilia Topuria, you're going to have to face Arman Tsarukyan, because I really want to see that fight, man. Let me get a drink, man. Arman Tsarukyan, where are you, bro? I mean, regardless, I think even if Ilia Topuria loses against Arman, I think we still see a super fight. Maybe Islam Arman, maybe Islam Topuria. So I'm excited for anything. But first of all, we have to go through Gaethje. And you have to complete the prophecy, brother. You have to complete the prophecy. You need to KO Justin Gaethje in the first round, just like you said it. So, little recap right here. I'm going to give you my recap. Give me a second real quick. I have it right here. I got my recap, man. Guys, I'm ready every time. All right. So, Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia. I got Steve Garcia KO. And my confidence is at a medium on that one. Because, of course, Diego Lopez is a proven guy in the featherweight division. But I'm going to go with Steve Garcia KO, TKO. Over Diego Lopez. Bo Nickel, decision. High confidence. I think that Bo Nickel can get this done, man. Via decision, or maybe, you know what? Maybe he can TKO Kyle Dawkins. I don't remember what I said. But anyways, Mauricio Rufy against Michael Chandler. I'm going to go with Michael Chandler. KO, TKO, upset. And as you all know, that's my low confidence pick of the card. Josh Hokit and Derrick Lewis, my highest confidence pick of the night, which is going to be a TKO over Derrick Lewis. Then we got Sean O'Malley and Ayman Zahabi, probably my second or third highest confidence. I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley to get this done. The method, I'm going to go with a decision. I'm going to go with a decision. Sean O'Malley via decision. And again, he wants a TKO, so maybe he gets a TKO, but I'm going to go with a decision on my pick, okay? And then we got Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane. My confidence level on this pick is going to be medium to high. And I'm going to go with method KO or TKO. And then we also have Ilia Topuria against Justin Gaethje. I'm taking Ilia Topuria, and I'm going to go with the high confidence. Again, that's the one that's battling with Sean O'Malley in the high for second or third. My highest confidence pick is going to be Josh Hokit. My second, I'm going to go with Ilia Topuria, because Justin Gaethje can, he can surprise everybody. And what has been happening in all these main events lately, the upsets, I'm going to go with Ilia Topuria to get this done, but it's going to be my second most confidence pick of the night. And my third most confidence pick of the night is going to be Sean O'Malley against Ayman Zahabi. And then I have the Bo Nickel Kyle Dawkins. And then I'm going to go with Steve Garcia against Diego Lopez. And then my lowest confidence pick of the night, Michael Chandler against Mauricio Rufy. All right, guys. So I appreciate you guys so much. Please subscribe and like the video. Go ahead and please subscribe, like, comment. Tell me who you think who you think I'm right. You think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comments. All right. Take care, guys. See you at the top.